Hello my friends, this is Eric Merritt at DAZ 3D, and in this video we're going to talk about the Parameters tab. Now, there are many tabs that show you properties that you can edit. So, for instance, we've got Genesis selected here, and if I want to move her up and down in Y, I can just grab this slider and move it around. So that is its X translate property. Let's undo that. And so there's all varieties of properties. If we slide down here, we can say that we have this basic female morph slider or property dialed up to make her look more female. We've got all different types. We've got these toggle controls, color controls, and this list shows them all except anything that deals with the surface. And let me go in here to the Surface tab and show you this list. This list does not ever show up in the Parameters tab or anywhere else. It's only going to show up in this Surface tab. So it deals with all the color items, right? So diffuse color, specular color, and then how much they're dialed on, the glossiness, anything that deals with the surface of an object. All the stuff over in Parameters tab really deals with things that live on the skeleton or bones. So it changed the shape things that show up here. But surfaces is kind of off by itself. Alright, let's show you something, the comparison between the shaping and the parameters tabs. Alright, so we've got Genesis selected here, and you'll notice at the top over here is actor. Now this is just a hierarchy of property groups. Now these are called regions, but it's just a type of property group. If we open up actor over here, right, these are all property groups in this left column. You'll see that you've got some hierarchy here. Lower body, you've got feet, hip, and legs. And if you go over here, you'll see in lower body you've got feet, hip, and legs. Different order, but the same ones. If we click on universal here and we click on universal here, we have the exact same list that shows up. This whole tab and the stuff that shows up here is just a filtered version of this. The Parameters tab is kind of the granddaddy, and to show that even further, let's go to the Posing tab, and we'll show you've got General here. Well, we've also got General here, and it's the exact same list. We've got Pose Controls here, we've got Pose Controls here, it's the exact same list. So, once again, Parameters is kind of the granddaddy. These are just filtered, because when we're in posing, we only want to deal with things that deal with posing. We don't want to see all the stuff that deals with shaping, right? Which is this actor property group here. Alright, let's close that up. Now let's talk about the filtering. Alright, before we actually filter something with a keyword, let's talk about this little scene drop down right here on the side. If I select Subdragon, of course it gets selected in the scene. We can dig down in something and go all the way down in the skeleton, and like if I want to select the head, I can do that, right? So this works really well to navigate through the scene and select a specific node or item so you can adjust its properties. Now let's add a keyword filter, and we'll do this filter on all, every single property for the head. And let's type in side, and we get a nice list of every property that's got side in its name. Okay? Now let's open this up and talk about this tri-state text here. All of these property groups look a little different, right? We've got some that are gray, we've got some that are white, and some that are very light gray. And let's talk about each one of those. So this one, if I select it, you'd probably guess that there's not going to be any properties in this group. So when we do our search, it lets us know that there are no properties that came up in that search that live here. That's right, there's nothing there. There is something here in the white one, and what do you think this one's going to be? Well, it shows the same one that's right here because it's letting us know that there is nothing in me, but there is something in one of my children or subgroups. Now we can see that further if we turn this off. Well, let's click on that one. If we turn this show sub items off, this side is going to go away because it doesn't actually live here, it lives right here, and it's just letting us know. So when these are collapsed like this, You know we don't need to go in here and look for anything, but there's something in here. If I click on that, nothing shows up because it's showing me it's one of the children, and this is turned off. If I click on that, it'll show up there. Okay, so it's convenient to turn the show sub items on. It gets you there a little faster in a lot of cases to see the properties you're looking for. Alright, let's kill that. One more thing I should probably talk about. Now, I have told you that there are things that you can't find in the Parameters tab, like the surface properties that you find in the Surface tab. I have also talked about the things that are duplicated and filtered inside of Posing and Shaping. But there is one group here that can't be found anywhere else, and that's this Display group. And if you click in that, you'll see that it controls things like whether this object casts shadows or is visible in the render, and things like whether it's selectable or visible at all in the scene. So I turn that off, you can't really see it, but the head disappears. So anyway, that's not available anywhere else, so you do need to come to Parameters tab to mess with these type of properties. And they're a little more advanced, is why they're not anywhere else, but you can find those right here. I think that's about everything. Now let's just do a little summary. We understand the relationship now between the Parameters tab and other tabs like Shaping and Posing, and the fact that none of the parameters here deal with surfaces. You've got to go into the Surface tab to change any of the properties of the surface. We have good filtering just like in other tabs. We have this scene drop down to select an item or node. And we have the 3 different states of text that help you determine where a certain property will reside. And that's it, and we'll talk to you next time.